Entering the Light Fantastic, a channeled message from Robbie. It's been almost a year since Marty and I have been able to do this, not because we didn't want to, but my dear friend Marty sustained a terrible accident, and she literally shattered her upper arm. It was a long process, a painful process, and the recovery took a long time. So she's finally, thank you, Spirit, back to her old self, almost as good as new. And so we're finally ready to resume the videos. But we thought we would start this one since it's almost been a year since our last episode. And so we thought we'd kind of put a fireside chat on the front end of this, just to remind everybody why we do this and how this came about. So I'll start. I first met Marty at a workshop about 5 years ago, Marty? Is it
Yeah.
5 years?
Oh, yeah.
And we just clicked. We got partnered up to do some exercises, and I just really enjoyed meeting Marty. She was just a lovely person. Then we kind of lost touch. Well, then I had a reading from another medium, and of course Robbie comes in, and the medium told me, she said, "Do you know about Eric?" And I said, "Yes." Well, Eric and his mother, Dr. Medhus, does videos where she has a medium also. It's called Channeling Eric, and she talks to her son through the medium. It's a fascinating series if you haven't seen it. But anyway, the medium said, "Okay, so you know Eric?" I said, "Yes." And she said, "Well, Robbie wants you to do that." And I said, "Do what?" She said, "He wants you to do a video series." No, panic went through my body. I don't do that. I don't even know a channel. How would I do this? Well, Spirit has a way, and Robbie had his mind made up. So Marty and I reconnected, right? And Marty
Yeah.
actually gave me a reading with Robbie. And what was funny about this was after the reading, and I think it was a couple days or maybe even a week later, you contacted me because you said, "Robbie's still with me." He's talking to me.
I didn't remember this. That's
Yeah,
funny.
yeah.
This is why
And
it's good for us to tell the story because, like, I remember my parts, but you would remember things I don't remember.
yeah,
So
well,
I don't remember that. That's cool.
yeah. And I thought, okay, well, if Robbie's still with Marty, because usually when the medium is done reading and the sitter has left, the connection is gone. But Marty still had this very strong connection to Robbie, even without me present. So that my mind started turning, and I thought, well, maybe there's a reason. So, Marty, do you remember the first time I asked you if you wanted to do this?
I don't remember the first time, but I've never been enthusiastic.
No, I drug her along kicking and screaming. So I called her and I told her about the reading. I told her about, the other series, Channeling Eric, and I told her what Robbie wanted to do. And I knew that Marty was a channel. And I said, "Marty, do you want to try this? Let's try it and see where it goes." And Marty goes, "Okay." She was a reluctant channel, but so take it from
Yeah.
there, Marty, because I know that this is really the first time that you've done it like in public. You've been a channel very long time.
Yeah.
So share with the audience about what you remember how this came about.
Yeah, that's funny. I it's funny how we remember things, but I mean, I'm with you now. I remembered that yes, he was still with me, and he's just such a funny guy, and he has so much personality, and his spirit is so strong, even from the other side, and that he really stands out from so much. I'm a professional medium. I give readings, private readings to clients, and no, I practice what's good hygiene of I connect in during the reading, but you really don't want spirits hanging around attached to you after the reading. Um, And so you release because it's just not really great. Their vibration isn't good for us down here and all that. And but he did keep coming back. And when I was in the shower or when I was blow drying my hair, and I'd hear this voice, and I was like, I know this is that guy. That's Robbie. I just love him. He's just the funniest guy. And he would just be chit chatting and just like, so what's up? What's up? you know, like I don't know what's up with you. And so, you know, I think I told you like, oh, he wanted me to tell you this, or he wanted me to tell
Mm-hmm.
you that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Um, and messages for you and your family. And so I'll always pass those along if I get them, but I rarely do from other spirits. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a normal thing. And I didn't know that you had that in your head about channeling Eric. I have watched some of those videos in the past, a
Mm-hmm.
long time ago, like when she first started doing those, but
Uh-huh.
I never had watched them since. Honestly, yes, channeling for me has been like more of a game. Like my son and I used to practice channeling together because he can do this too. And so we would, you know, just do personal family readings, and I would bring in our ancestors, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And but I've no, I honestly I always thought, I don't know if this is real. What? I mean, I'm a skeptic. I was a skeptic about my own mediumship. It's taken me. My second nature is always skepticism. Like, but I'm very open minded about all of this. I'm like, okay, I'm willing to entertain ideas, no problem. But I'm also like, show me, prove that this is really a spirit who's coming to me and giving me evidence. You know, I want proof. I want real.
Yeah.
I'm like probably a lot of audience members feel that way, right? Like, is all
Oh,
this
yeah.
channeling stuff real? I'd see
Absolutely.
people. I would see people channeling on YouTube and such, and I was like, I don't know. Maybe
Yeah.
that's real. Maybe it's not. I don't have. Nancy has ultimate faith. Nancy, because she has the terrible experience of having her beloved son on the other side, it's also the only upside I can honestly see of having your child pass is that it does deepen your faith when you hear from them again.
Oh, yeah.
You
Definitely.
can't. Yeah, and then you're now 100% believer. You're full on in because this is your child telling you what it is to live on the other side, what the messages. And he's so amazing because he and I feel have that commonality. Well, one, we have the same sense of humor, but like South Park and Family Guy, and
Mhm. Two of
you
his
know, we like
favorite shows. Yeah.
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 But so we connect with our humor, but we also connect on the level of, you know, I have an adult son as well. Um, I just know what it is to be the mother of an adult man, and gosh, I
Well,
no, I was
Robbie was,
skeptical about all of this in
yeah.
the beginning, but he's proven it. He's proven it. Yeah,
Well,
right.
he brought you along slowly.
Yes,
He built the relationship first, so that you would know him and trust him. Because Marty, truly, when you
yes,
channel, you're vulnerable.
yes,
Because you're allowing the spirit not to take over your body, but to, at the very least, blend with your energy and use your
yes,
body for a short time. So, and
yes.
not only that, but to this day, Marty won't watch our videos because she doesn't want to see herself do it. So this was a
No,
huge, brave step for Marty to put herself out there. First of all, to be first time publicly channeling, to go on YouTube, and then to trust the messages. But this was important to Robbie, and here's how it worked. As we would set up for this meeting, or this video, um, we would chit chat a little bit in the beginning, and I'd say, "Did you hear from Robbie?" And I said, "Because he told me something that he wanted to talk about," or I had written down key words. And
yeah,
lo and behold, the message that Marty got and what I got were the same.
yes.
This is going to be the theme of the video for this time. So, that's kind of confirming. And and then Robbie, and then Marty would just trust. We just, okay, well, this is kind of the framework, but let's see where this goes. And so, yeah, we do
Yeah.
have to trust Robbie, but he has proven to us, and I think to Marty, Marty now trusts him and is a little more comfortable, right, with
Yes.
channeling
Yeah.
him.
I
But
am. Listen, what you just said, this is blowing my mind because, um, right before we came on, we were talking about this subject, and I was late. I was running late, and I'm like, I was getting annoyed with myself because I'm like, why am I running late? I knew when we were going to do this, and this is so. I was getting annoyed with myself for my lateness, and I'm blow drying my hair, and it just clicked. I started hearing from Robbie and our mutual guide, which that's another subject, but Robbie and guide came in while I'm blow drying my hair, and they said, we're going to talk about building trust. And you just said that. And we did not talk about that
no, we didn't. No, we
before.
talked about
No,
doing this little chat ahead of time, but
yeah, yeah.
not the
Because
trust.
he also said, the first, which we already did talk about, is, hey, you guys should really just talk. Just talk to your audience and tell them the backstory and tell them, why it's been a while and
And that's what
why.
I told Marty that I wanted to do before she told me that story. So it
Yes.
was, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And so we were just like, wait, so you got the same message too? Yes, I got that same message. So we're both getting the same message. Let me just make this really clear. This is what proved it to me, is that while I'd be getting ready to go on and do a recording session with Nancy, I'd be blow drying my hair and hearing from Robbie, guide, or whoever, saying, you should really talk about this today, and I have a feeling it's going to go in this direction, but nothing specific, just sort of a general, and then we would hook up and start chatting. Oh yeah, I got the same thing. So it just happened again.
Yeah.
And that, because I couldn't remember, I was in the shower when he told me about building trust.
Oh,
And he's like, yeah, today's topic, building trust. I'm like, oh, okay. I wonder why that is. I wonder what that has to do with any of this. Oh, yeah.
so
So
now
maybe
you
it's
know,
cute.
yeah, now you know a little bit about how this was came into being,
Yeah.
how Robbie worked, how he brought us together. Marty brought up one thing about the guide. Marty, Robbie, and myself all share a guide, which is, and that guide, I think it's a higher guide, um, is the one that's really pulling this all together and wants these messages to get out to you, the audience.
Yeah.
It's an important time right now, and that's why Robbie wants to do these videos. So that is our mission. We do it with trust. We do it with the highest intention that these messages come from the highest good and for the highest good. So we do hope that you believe what you're hearing and seeing, because we certainly do.
Yes.
And with that, I think we're ready to get going. Are you ready, Marty?
Yeah. Yeah.
So here's what happens. Marty takes a few minutes to actually have Robbie's energy blend with hers. Yes, you kind of put your consciousness over to the side, and then
Yes. And
he comes in.
the way he's explained it to me, and I don't know if we've talked about this before, but it's almost like the overlay of his spirit onto mine. If you can visualize a lace tablecloth that you can sort of see through, so it's like laying his spirit over me, almost like I'm taking a lace tablecloth and putting it over my head.
Oh,
Well, that's how I envision, Robbie's energy just kind of comes and lays over me. So I don't know. I've not had formal channeling training. I've had a few classes here and there, but mostly I just figured this out with Robbie of how he wants to use me. And it was hinky in the beginning. It was odd. I was doing the full on, he needs to come into my body and this and that. And he was like, yeah, I'm not comfortable with that. So
it's
I
more of
learned.
an
I learned from,
energetic. It's more of an energetic blending, right?
yes,
Than
for
taking over
sure.
the body. So
Yes.
Okay, well, with that, sometimes it takes Marty up to 5 minutes for that process to go or to complete. And I know it's done because Robbie will come in and say, "Hey, mom, hi, mom, yo, mom, whatever." And then I know I'm talking to Robbie. So I will edit that time out. And then we
Yeah.
will proceed with evidently talking about the trust,
Building trust, building trust.
building
Yeah.
trust. So, Marty, take your time, and I will wait to hear from Robbie.
Okay. Okay. We're ready. Hey, mom.
Oh, hello, son.
Mom.
Son! It's so good to be able to talk to you like this again.
Yeah, it really is. I'm psyched.
Um,
Woo!
yeah, Marty is we had to wait for Marty to get healed and she did. And so thank you for sticking around and waiting for us. And we are super excited to be doing this again. So,
So talk.
okay, first,
What are you
first
going to talk about?
well, first I want you to please tell us, because in the past videos that we've done, you always come to us from either the mountains or an amphitheater, or it's always interesting where you're talking to us from up there. So what does it look like around you right now? Where are you, if you could describe that for us?
Okay, so today we're in well, you can't see that. So we're in a cavern. It's it's in a mountain.
Is this the cavern that's lined like with crystals?
Um yes. So okay, so now I'm starting to make sense of this, of what I'm supposed to talk about today. So our guide wants us to talk about building trust, as I think was mentioned. How do you build trust with people that you share a relationship with? How do you build trust? And I mean, number one, do what you say you're going to do, right? So if you say you're going to do something, show up, do it, try to do it the best way you can, the way you said you were going to do it. That's number one. But there's like a whole lot of other things. I think what she wants to talk about is like she's taking it from interpersonal relationships on building trust. So you've got on a small level, right? On the micro level of
Mm-hmm.
building trust, and you take it out to the macro level of the universe and us on the other side. And how do you guys on Earth, how do you get that this is all really real? How do you understand? How can you wrap your brains around this concept of this is really a real thing?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what we're supposed to be talking about.
Okay.
So, more input. Let's see. Um, I don't know. All this stuff is like really makes my brain hurt. It's big. It's like really, really big stuff. Um, so how can you on that side understand what it's like to be on this side, and how can you comprehend the back and forth? Oh, okay. So it's the back and forth interplay, right? Of us on the other side and how we actually really try to influence you in the physical realm. So we're trying to help you. We're always trying to help you. Like, okay, and we'll take it. I'm just going to keep going with this analogy. I'm going to keep going with my analogy. So it's let's take it on the micro level, relationships between family members. So how do you build trust with each other? Like we said, you're always trying to follow through, do what you say you're going to do, be responsible, like responding to each other's needs as much as you can. So that, but then you take that out to a macro, the big level of the communication, the back and forth from your loved ones in spirit going to the physical realm. So us over here, which I'm an us now over here, um, I'm sorry, I kind of have an attitude because I just feel like I'm not going to say everything right, and I'm going to probably close this down, and I'm going to have a lecture from Leonini. But she's she's camera shy, and so she's wanting me to tell you all these things, but to explain how it works so that you can have more faith and trust that um, the other side is a real place. You do go to heaven when you die. There is no death. It's just a change in your form of energy. Wow, that's pretty cool because, honestly, I think part of this work, okay. So it's all making sense to me. So part of this work that we're doing is to help people get more comfortable and, maybe because I'm such a cool guy, people would want to hear from me that they could hear it more from a guy like me. They could really understand more that I'm not gonna BS you, right? I'm not gonna make up a bunch of crap that doesn't make sense. I'm gonna tell you really where I am. So that's why she wants me to talk and do this work with you.
And
um
so one of the reasons we do this video sessions then, Robbie, is so that people learn to trust that there is more to life than what their five senses tell them. You're here to tell us. Trust me, I'm telling you the honest to goodness truth. Is that what you're
yes,
saying?
yes, thanks, Mom. So that's exactly it. It's
Okay.
So you've got your five senses. Well, that they're telling me no. There's at least seven, if not more. But coincidences. I think we've talked about this before. I could be wrong, but when you have coincidences happening in your life on a small level, just little things, little synchronicities that happen during the day,
Hmm.
be aware, notice those things. So when you start to notice patterns, you notice the synchronicities, you notice the coincidences, um, at the end of your day, this could be like a little daily thing that you do, right? You could just check in with yourself at the end of the day when you're lying in bed at night, about to go to sleep. That is the time when you're about to enter into just a little bit in our world over here. So you start thinking about what were the coincidences that happened to you today? What were the synchronicities that happened? What went down today that you can go, oh, yeah, okay, all right, that makes sense. And
So what you're saying is if we take stock or take note of those and trust that those aren't just coincidences, but actual signs from you and the other side, that's how we build our trust.
oh, yes, perfect. So you nailed it. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
No, that's up top. So that's exactly, yes, because I was getting lost. All this really like philosophical stuff. I mean, I think these thoughts. I've had these thoughts, like in my human form. I
Uh-huh.
had these type of thoughts. I mean, I had a lot of conversations about this stuff
Yeah.
in my physical form, but I couldn't quite. It's so hard over there, and I have to remember. I have to remember how hard it is to wrap your brain around things. Over here, it's just like the acceptance. I have to trust, right? I have no choice. I'm over here. I'm not there anymore, and I can still check in on you, my family, and see
Mhm.
what's going on. So how does that happen? That's to me like crazy magic. That's crazy magical stuff. And so um
So let
I
me
don't I
let
don't
me
have to trust. You guys have to trust.
well,
Yeah.
you see everything from such a different perspective. It's not that you get to see it as if it's really there. We don't see it with our eyes. We have to trust that it's there. So that's a little bit different between you and us. But I want to go back, Robbie, because you said, okay, so the micro level of trust is, our relationship. So I'm going to use you and I as an example. So you and I had this wonderful trust. I knew that if you told me you were going to do something or you were going to be somewhere or you were, we trusted. And I think the same thing with me. If I told you I was going to help you with something, then I was as good as my word as you were. So we built this trust. We had trust. But now we
Yep.
take it to the macro, and then we build upon that trust to expand into two different worlds, mine and yours. And
Yes.
so, we're building on that. And and the, and because I had a baseline trust with you, it's easy for me to believe and trust what you are now bringing through. I'm a little spoiled because of our relationship now after you have crossed. But I want to share with people how much I believe you, how much I trust you, and and I hope that they take something like that away for these interviews. The other thing that I wanted to tell you too is I remember in one of my very first readings with you, you told me, Mom, don't wear a watch. Don't get caught up in the concept of time. And I think what you were trying to tell us is you can be in your world and our world because everything on your side happens at the same time. There is no linear time. Did I get that right?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. That's good. That's really good.
Okay.
Yeah.
See how
No,
much see how much you've taught me?
that's, I mean, wow. I never thought that I would be teaching you, who knew? Who
I
knew?
know. You're
It's,
helping me now with my homework.
yeah, isn't that a trip? That's crazy. That's some crazy stuff.
But
That's
but
like
I love it.
next.
Well,
Yeah.
it's fascinating because your perspective there and what you are able to, because I know you can't tell us everything, but what you are able to share with us is so fascinating. And if we have the trust that this is coming from you and from a good
It's really
source.
me. It's Robbie, or that's what mom calls me.
Yeah.
It's Rob, okay? It's Rob. But
Well,
yeah, concepts. I mean, this is, yeah, concepts. These concepts are hard to wrap your brain around,
yeah.
but you can't. So maybe don't even. I know. So maybe don't even try to wrap your brain around it. Right? You just by doing a little thing every day. Little dribs and drabs.
Yeah.
Little, like I was just saying, like every night before you go to sleep, kind of go through your day. What were the synchronicities? What did it all mean? Things that stick out to you, right? Like
Yeah.
if you see something that happened in your day and you're thinking, huh, that was weird. I wonder why that happened. That was odd. I could tell you that's probably because that's like your psychic hit, right? You're getting like, dope. I mean, you're getting a psychic hit of wake up, pay attention to that.
Yeah.
That's a thing. That's something you should be noticing. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
And
that.
it's and when those synchronicities or those things and we start looking at it, that's when you truly literally build trust one event at a time. and
Yep.
and that's what we're trying to do is build the trust. And so I think that's a wonderful idea. I tell a lot of my clients, keep a journal of what's happened to you, your dreams, because we forget or we dismiss it so easily.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's a hundred
So
percent. Um, I don't. Yeah. I mean, for me, I don't know, in life, it's hard to write things down, always be like journaling. I don't know that I would have maybe done that. But I definitely can, what's the minimum you can do is to think, you
yeah.
know, think about, reflect, take time to be, there we go. That's the word I'm looking for, self aware, to be aware of yourself and more, when you're brushing your teeth in the morning, right? You look in the mirror and you see yourself and just think about, huh, you know, what happened yesterday? What am I going to do today? How do we build on that? So that's okay. So that's kind of what there's not so much of that going on over here. Let's put it that way. I miss the excitement, and this is something that you guys should be grateful for, is the excitement of being able to build on something physically every day. You know, every day you go to sleep at night, you wake up the next morning. Each day is a new day to have the chance to build something better, to build something more positive in the physical world.
But I think Robbie, what you're talking about here is you kind of, because you're in a world where everything happens at the same time, uh, you almost know the outcome.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's not any surprises. We,
Nope.
because we're on linear time, we have surprises,
Yep.
and we see the progress and the buildings, and so I understand what you're saying. We build our trust differently than you build your trust,
Yeah.
but
Oh, yeah, yeah, you're right. Good point.
yeah.
See, I was in the
So
beginning of this, in the begin, mom, in the beginning of this, I was like, what are we doing? Why are we talking about this? Because this was not me. This wasn't my idea. This was Leonini,
okay,
your guide. This is her idea that she wanted us to talk about this today. But now I kind of see why. That's kind of how I am over here. I mean, nobody becomes like this super wise guru or anything when you pass. No, you're still your same self. But because you're in no stress, perfect love, everything's cool. I mean, it's very peaceful, it's very happy. It's just, there's not a lot of, it's a rare occasion when you get excited about things. Let's put it that way. And I like to get excited about shit. Sorry, I like to get excited about stuff. So, uh, yeah, it's this is now I can kind of see what was the thing about building trust. I didn't know. Yeah,
yeah, yeah. So I think trust is an important first step, obviously, when you start on your spiritual path and you open yourself to these possibilities. So I think that's the foundation. You have to have that foundation of trust.
yeah.
And I think Leonini's starting at the beginning, okay, you can't build a building unless you have that trust foundation. So,
Oh, yeah, that's good. I like that. That's cool.
yeah. So we will work on trust. We will work, and it's almost hand in hand with faith. Yeah, the word faith and
Yes.
trust, because I have faith in you. I trust you. Um, but again, I have you and what we do here, and your amazing communication from the other side, and the way you've worked with me. I'm so grateful for that. I don't know if I would have the amount of faith and trust that the other side existed if you weren't there pulling me along. So, again, that's, I think, why we're doing these videos. And I hope you get excited about the videos.
I do. Yeah, I think it's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's really nice to be able to talk again, and
Well, it
I,
is.
I, I appreciate it. And
Y-
thank you for saying all that. That's really nice, Mom. That's really cool.
Well, I know Marty and I hope our audience members appreciate, I was going to say your time, but you don't have time over there, but appreciate you doing this. So, all right, my son, well, I'm going to wrap this up. It was so wonderful to talk to you again. We will do this more. So I'm going to ask you to release my friend back to me. And until we meet again, I love you, honey.
Love you too. Okay.
Hey, welcome back. That was a long goodbye. Anything you want to share with the audience of what he said afterwards?
Oh, no, I just always give him a hug and we go high five.
Okay. All right. Well, I
Oh, boy. And I just thank him and yeah, was really, really nice.
It was.
He's
It was an amazing way to kick off our series again. So I thank you, the viewers, for watching us. Our contact information is at the end if you'd like a private reading from Marty or more information on me and my journey and what I do. So until we meet again, take care. Bye.
Bye.